Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, depending on when you're watching this video. To you, the Trinity Conference. What a gift it is to be able to share that. The Trinity Conference. It sounds good because it's about unity. It's about belief. It's about what binds us together as a family of churches in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. My name is Jason Burnham. I'm the executive officer of the Trinity Conference. And today I'm going to share with you a brief overview of our end of year report that is due at the end of the month on January 30th. But that doesn't mean you have to wait until the end of the month to fill it out. But we want to prepare you for that work so that when you enter into the form, you will have the details necessary to be able to fill it out in an expedited fashion. We want this to be as simple and as seamless as possible. We do believe and hope that this is a simple and effective way that we could capture information on the conference, on the churches in the conference, and that this is highly useful data, not only for us as a conference, but for you as a church as we reflect on where we've been in 2023 and where the Lord is leading us to grow and to minister in the year ahead in 2024. This year in report has four major categories that we're going to walk through together in just a moment. I'll share screen for that. These four main areas help us to have information, and I hope that you will take time to gather this before you enter in, because we want you to breeze through it and that it will be completed in one sit down when that time comes. The categories are: first, basic church information; second, vital ministry statistics, and this is some of what we're really used to, those numerical statistics. Our aim was that it would be 12 or less, and I'm here to say that we have narrowed it down to 10 different categories of statistics. And then number three, lay delegate information and that contact information, and then lastly, lay ministry leadership. So I'm going to share screen and we're going to dig right in so that you and I can walk through this form together. So this is the beginning, that it's the church basics, that we begin by needing your church name. And so I want you to see that we have all of the churches in our conference listed here. They're by state first. So Arkansas, Louisiana, and then Texas. And so you can find your church there. I'm going to just choose one as we go, because a couple of these fields need to be filled in order to proceed through it. I love what Jeff Warwick's done at the Journey in Mount Tabor, and so I'm going to pretend to be the Journey. We're also asking for your legal church name. We know a lot of churches change their name in the midst of this season, and so if we don't have the right legal church name, I hope that you'll document that for us there. We then ask for the area. You could see that the areas are listed, and you might not be familiar as the one filling out this form with whether you're in Coastal or Pelican, but we also have the names of your area presiding elders there, so that you would be able to recognize not only name but the individual that is represented there. Physical address of your church, mailing address. Oh, I need to fill that out as I go, and to be sure we can proceed through this. I am in Arkansas after all. And so then we ask for the name of the person preparing the report, contact information there in case there are questions as we receive this. And then we ask for predominant ethnic and racial makeup of the congregation. If more than one apply, you can see the note there. Check all that apply as we work to minister to all the people that God has called us to in our conference. Next sheet is the statistical information. I mentioned that we have 10 categories here. The first and second, kind of at the foundation of who we are as Christians and as Methodists: baptisms and professions of faith. Those that have been baptized in our congregations, both as infants and by profession of faith as youth or adults. That statistic there. And then profession of faith. After all, we're called to make disciples of Jesus Christ. And so how many people gave their lives to the Lord through the ministry of your church in the last year? Then we have worship attendance and membership. Two critical statistics. The first, worship attendance. We're looking for in-person worship attendance so that we could really celebrate those that are active in discipleship and relationship in the life of your church. And membership, get that comparison. I know that many congregations went through a culling of their records over the last year. This is just informational. It's helpful for us to benchmark and see where we are as a body. But we also know that you get what you count. And if we're a people in the Global Methodist Church that are renewed in our emphasis on holiness of heart and life and a Wesleyan discipleship, then we want to begin counting those that are involved in Wesleyan discipleship, whether they be class meetings or bands, small groups of some kind, focused on that holiness of heart and life. So simple questions: do you have those? And if you do, how many are participating in them? Then you see we're asking about catechism, that critical document that has been released, because we are a people founded not only on discipline, but also on doctrine, what we believe as a body. And so how many in your church have been going through that catechetical work? Then we have local and foreign missions. Notice we're asking this, the language of this is the number of people that participated in local and foreign missions as a part of your church, sponsored by your church. Methodists are out in their communities doing so much wonderful work, but we're not asking for all of the ways in which they're working, but what are the things that they're doing through the ministry of the church in mission for local and foreign. And then we have Bible study and Sunday school. We know that those bring extraordinary value and deepen our relationship with the Lord. So number of adults, number of children and youth participating in Bible study or Sunday school. And last but not least, connectional funding. This is the last statistic there, that we're asking for your operating income. You might wonder, what does that mean? There's a description here for you. It also talks about what is excluded so that you could calculate that number. We're not asking for a full record. We're not auditing you. We're trusting that you are going to be faithful in presenting that. And so we then ask for that operating income for 2023. This is why it's filled out in January, so that you can make that calculation. And then you can multiply it by 1.75% and 1%, and those numbers will be the connectional funding rates for the Trinity Conference and for the General Global Methodist Church. I believe I have a couple of numbers that I need to put in order to proceed. And again, I know that this will not be accurate, but we're going to just work our way through. Okay. The next sheet is lay delegates, our church lay delegates. These are folks that were elected at the Charter Church Conference in the fall. And this is how we're going to communicate for registration for our April 6th special session of the annual conference, where delegates will be elected to general conference and where we will have opportunity to consider legislation. And then also for our summer, our annual conference in the summer in June 20th to 21st of 2024 in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's critical that we have all of this information. I also want you to note that we are asking for one lay delegate for every appointed clergy person to the church. So if you have 3 pastors on your staff appointed to the church, then they will be, then you will have 3 lay delegates, and you could just add another lay delegate by clicking that button. If you have one, then it's very simple. Just who is that lay delegate? If you do not have an appointed clergy person, please note that it says that every single church should fill in at least one. And so we believe that every church that's joined the Global Methodist Church should have representation in our conversation as an annual conference and as a denomination. And we know that this will mean that there are churches that have just one and churches that have very many, but we wanted that tool to be functional in that way. Also, please note, don't fill out any alternates here. If an alternate is needed for one of the sessions, then there's a different process through which that paperwork is received, but this is the foundation upon which our delegate registration will be executed. And then last but not least, oh, see, it alerted me that I had something that needed to be filled out. And so continuing on. Last but not least, on this, the total of the year in report is the church lay leadership. We know that the Lord has called us as Global Methodist members to make disciples, because disciples make disciples. And the churches multiply, but for us as a conference, we have an equipping role, that we are a resourcing body, that we equip the local church for multiplication and Global Methodist for discipleship. And so we need or would like the opportunity to communicate with lay leaders that were elected in your church at your charge or church conference. There are a few of those that we're asking to be required to make sure that if there are needs in the appointive process, that we have those critical contacts: lay leader, admin board chair, staff parish relations. But then there's a couple of others: trustees, finance, treasurer and financial secretary. I want you to think about the resources that we hope as a conference to be able to make available to your churches that will then bless those ministries and equip everyone for the work that we share in. Lastly, at the bottom of this, we have lay leadership contact. If you do have a missions coordinator, prayer coordinator, next gen director, disaster relief, we have teams that are being formed or fashioned, some that are up and running already, and some that are at the incubation period. But we know that as the conference comes together in these different ministry arenas, that we would love to be able to bring folks together for collaboration and for shared ministry. So this that would conclude the form. You would click submit, and it would be done. Just a couple of notes. Wanted to be sure that this is required for every church to complete. We're so grateful for your participation in this process, for the way in which you engage. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the conference office. But first, contact your circuit presiding elder or your area presiding elder, because they're going to be able to be a resource for you closer to that local level. Also, please note, this is due January 30th. So in the month of January, as you close your books for the previous year and you collect this information, you can take the time to fill that out. It's due at the end of January so that we as a body can move into the new year together. What a gift it is to be with you. I hope that you are having an extraordinary Christmas season as we continue to live in the reality that we worship a God who came down and made himself known in his Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ the Lord. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Peace be with you.